Hey my friends, this is Daniel, Aldie, and today I want to talk with you about the 4 biggest dream killers that prohibits most people from achieving their success. So listen up. The first big dream killer are negative people. When we start out in our journey, we don't realize how negative the people in our life actually are until we decide to truly become successful. I call these people default friends. And default friends are people that we naturally see everywhere we go that are just planted within our community. These are people that are our neighbors, our friends, our family members, people in the grocery store, at the gym, at school, at work, at church. People that are just naturally there that may or may not be obstacles in our lives. We need to remove them if they are. Now, one of the questions that people always ask me is, Daniel, how do I get rid of negative people? How do I get rid of toxic people that are in my domain? And the real answer is to just search for positive people. If you search for positive people and you ask them positive questions and you build a positive relationship, eventually it will become so much easier and negative people will eventually dissipate from your life. I remember when I first started reading books, I would look at the people around me and I would realize how silly their remarks actually were, their ways of thinking, their mentality, and I discovered that these were no longer the people I wanted to be with. I decided to severance myself from these people because I knew that greater people were out there because I was now thinking bigger. The second biggest dream killer are miscellaneous studies. In this world, our internet is filled with so much garbage that so many people put so much time into studying it. If you look on the internet, you're gonna see sexual images, you're gonna see violence, you're gonna see stupidity, you're gonna see childishness, you're gonna see people that don't actually care about living their dreams, they're just wasting their time. You need to avoid this at all costs. You need to avoid miscellaneous studies. Now you might say, well, it's just the news, or I'm just catching up with sports, or I'm just listening to some celebrity gossip. It won't harm me. But the fact is that it's taking useful time that you could be using to pursue your goal. That 1 or 2 hours a day that people normally say they don't have time to follow their dreams for is a time that you can use to follow your dreams. Now, another thing someone might say is, Daniel, you don't understand. I just need a little time to get away from things. I just need a little distraction. Come on, just give me a little break. But the real answer is that you don't need any distractions at all. You might feel like you're getting informed because you're staying ahead by understanding the news and understanding what's going on in the world, but it's actually stopping you. When you hear of all the stabbings and killings and rapes and all this abuse out there in the world, it actually prohibits you from growing into the person that you want to be. Remember that if you study miscellaneous things, you become a miscellaneous person. You become a jack of all trades. And even though people think that a jack of all trades is good, it really isn't. You need to become masterful of several items and let other people be the jack of all trades so that you can hire them into what you've mastered. So what you really need to do is to relinquish the miscellaneous studies and start to take up studies that can help you go even further. It's good to be informed about many things in the world, but it's even better to master some subjects and topics that can help you go even further. The third big dream killer is fear. There's so many fears out there in the world that some people don't even know that they exist. For instance, there's a fear of criticism. There's a fear of failure. There's a fear of poverty. There's a fear of old age. There's the fear of success even. There's so many different fears, and you must understand which one of them bothers you the most and what you need to do in order to overcome them. The only way you can overcome your fears is by knowing what they are and by facing them head on. For instance, for me, I had the fear of success. I was afraid that if I would become successful, that I would make too much money and maybe become greedy. I will lose my humility. I would never be the same because money would take over my life. And that's absolutely false. In fact, when I made more money, I became more humble and I was able to help more people because of it. What are your fears? Are you afraid of criticism? Are you afraid of what people are going to say to you? Of how they think about you if you do something different than what you're currently doing? Are you afraid of failing? Maybe starting that business that you've always been dreaming of, but necessarily haven't started because you're trying to perfect it before you even start it. Or maybe you're afraid of poverty. You just keep working and working and working and saving money, thinking that money is going to give you happiness while it's burning you down and killing you along the way. Or are you afraid of old age? Maybe you're just working in your 70s and 80s and now it's time to quit. Now it's time to collect your Social Security, your retirement planning. Now it's time to call it a day and be a grandfather or a grandmother for the rest of your life. Either way, stop doubting yourself and start believing in yourself. Overcome your fear and overcome your limitation and become the person that you know you were called to be. The fourth big dream killer is conformity. This is one of the biggest killers of all time because most people don't even see it happening. They just end up conforming without even realizing why they're taking the actions that they're taking. They haven't realized that society has enforced certain procedures, certain rules, certain parameters that they should follow, and it prohibits them from their greatest success. Stop conforming and start performing to your own level of expectations. The only time you should ever conform is in traffic. You should never conform in any other way. Of course you want to wear clothes. Of course you want to have a job. Of course you want to make money. But if you find yourself borrowing other people's behaviors just because you're too lazy to create your own, then that is a severe problem that you must fix right now. Stop trying to fit in when you were born to stand out. Stop hanging out with people with no jobs, or people that are making minimum wage, or people who are on drugs, when you know you were called to a better life than that. The fact is that you are so big, but you're playing so small. This is a trap that many people fall into, and you need to get out of it. You need to find yourself by finding out who you are and what you want to accomplish. Get away from those people and start being yourself. These are the 4 biggest dream killers. And if you like this video, my friends, make sure you subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below, and smash the like button. I look forward to seeing you next time.